arriving 20 minutes late, David, Big D3 Youngs. Boo!
I've got COVID, and I am gonna tell you all to suck a fat and
He's playing hurt. He's playing hurt.
I am playing hurt. I feel like
Boys are back. Boys are back in town. We welcome you to a new episode of TWI. I'm your host, Ike. We got an unreal crew. Starting at the bottom, we got Stevie No Wonder. Above him, David Big D3 Youngs. Above him, we got Eric P. Big Bet Barter above him. And then special guest and friend of the show, Jeffrey G Money Youngs. How the boys doing today?
Ready to rock.
Let's go. We got a lot of drama in this episode. A lot of drama from both sides in our feature match of the week between Tommy Paul and Novak Djokovic. But before we get into that drama, I do want to ask Jeffrey. David was throwing a little bit of shade at you for being the worst commissioner in all of sports. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, I commissioned this fantasy league that we're in for the people. I did it for the people, and I just don't know what you don't like about my commissioning skills, but I do it for the people, man.
I'll be honest with you. Like, I love fantasy football. It takes me a lot to not check one of my fantasy football leagues. And the league that you're the commissioner in was that league. So I think it's just you're overall shitty. And I think I lost my love of the game because of you. So thanks a lot.
We had a very serious punishment for our loser this year. So I'm glad you didn't end up in last place. I'm surprised because you didn't check your lineup, but
mind sharing the punishment?
Yeah, a milk mile.
Cool.
You have to drink milk right 10 minutes before a mile, and each cup of milk shaves off 30 seconds, and you've got to run a sub 4-minute mile. Like half a gallon of milk and then run a 6-minute mile pretty much. If you throw up before the mile, you have to do it all over again.
You know what that calls for? I'm going to start drinking right now.
Yeah. I thought you were going to pull out some milk.
He needs some
We have
milk.
one similar.
What's yours, Stevie?
We do thank God I haven't gotten last, but if you get last, you have to go to IHOP for 24 hours. You guys have probably seen it on Twitter, and every pancake you eat takes an hour off. Last year, it was the youngest kid in the league. He's like, I don't know, 16 or something. He was there for 14 hours.
Oh, man.
I told him it's a $200 league. I told him I'd rather pay double than do that.
Yeah, IHOP's not even good. Like,
yeah, it's exactly. We can't even get good pancakes.
I would never want to go there again. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that would do it. I don't know if I'd ever eat pancakes again.
So a fantasy league I was in college with my high school friends, our punishment was the winner got to dress the loser in whatever they wanted, and the loser got to play an instrument of their choice at this college bar that we all knew until they, like, I think it was like $50. They had to get $50 from people passing by. So my friend Ethan, who was in a long-term relationship at that point, still is, they actually just got engaged, had to wear like these fishnet legging things, a cut-off white t-shirt with like short shorts that were tight that said, "I can't please my girlfriend," and had to play a trumpet until he got $50 at Herd and Horns bar. I think it only took him like 45 minutes, but it was like an indoor-outdoor kind of thing. So he was standing in the parking lot. We had one person with like a money bag, like waiting for people to walk by. And then we all watched from up top on the rooftop. And it was so funny.
There's been a lot of drama happening on both sides of this coin between Novak Djokovic and Tommy Paul. We'll start with the Novak Djokovic drama. Granted, it isn't necessarily Novak himself, but his father was outside the stadium in Melbourne posing with fans. He was posing with pro-Russian flags and stuff like that. And then he, after the picture, he said, "Long live Russia." as he walked away. What do you guys think about that?
I wonder what he meant by that. Long live Russia. I wonder what he meant by supporting Russia. Do you think he likes Russia? Like, you think he's supporting Russia?
I think so. I mean, why would you do that? Why would you pose for a picture with the Russian flag or holding up flags for Putin and stuff like that?
I don't know, but it seems like apples don't fall far from the tree. Novak's a his dad's a people that you'd like to punch in the face and run over with a minivan. So,
As a guy who's got quite a bit of money on Djokovic to win the Australian Open, I can't accept that he's a. But and I also hope this doesn't.
Sorry, he's a giant.
Yeah, he's something. But I just hope this doesn't affect his play. I did see a tweet that said what his dad said to the guys could be translated as like cheers or something like that. So I wish I would have saved it. So I actually had like the tweet verbatim, but yeah, I don't know. I honestly didn't like look too far into it or think too much about it, to be honest, just because, I mean, Djokovic's dad, I guess I don't know how much, to be honest, I really like care about that. But if it was Djokovic, then I probably would just cash out my futures and we'll take a little win there.
Yeah, even though I think Djokovic is a like that would suck to have this added pressure, like you mentioned, Stevie. Like, he can't control what his dad does. It's like we all know tennis players who have crazy parents.
Yeah.
And even if you're a POS human being, like, you can't, and I'm not saying that Djokovic is that, but you can't control what your parents do, no matter like how shitty they are. Like, we all know of tennis players whose parents are sack of dumps human beings, and that's got to be agonizing as a child. And I'm not saying that his dad is. I don't know what he was saying. Cheers. I say cheers to people that I don't like sometimes, but I don't know. Seems like a pretty very not likable person.
If it is true that he said, long live Russia, I mean, you have to be, if you're his dad, you have to be delusional, right? Like, your kid is going to be playing in, a semifinal of a Grand Slam to tie Rafa Nadal for the lead in terms of Grand Slam titles. You have to be completely delusional. If that's what happened, and he actually said that, which there is a video clip of him saying that, like, you have to be delusional. And if I were Djokovic, I would be pissed. And I would definitely give him a tongue lashing, just like, shut up, dude. Like, if it's after the tournament or something, it's one thing, but like going out during that quarterfinal match and doing that type of stuff, it just, there's no need for it.
I think Djokovic is the one guy on tour who's like psycho enough that, like, you could put him in Tom Brady's situation this year with his wife divorcing him. Like, Novak would still go win some Grand Slam and drop like 2 sets during the whole thing.
Yeah.
Not saying what his dad did is right, but I don't think it's going to phase Novak.
Yeah.
That's why he's the GOAT. He just battles through everything. It's ridiculous. Like, didn't this dude live through war when he was younger?
Yep.
Like, and like that probably explains a little bit of this too. Like, in all seriousness. So when I was in school last year at Maryland, one of my better friends was the Serbian dude. I think I told you about this, David. But after war broke out, I remember seeing on Mohaned's story, like, pro-Russia shit. And like me and a few people in our program were like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what's this guy saying? Because we know him and he's like a super nice dude. We, not to say like nice people can't support Russia, but just didn't understand it. I don't remember his explanation well enough. And I don't remember like the history of like geopolitical tensions in the area, but like listening to him speak and with like a little bit of empathy and thoughtfulness, like I didn't like agree with him when he was done, but I was like, okay, like I could see why this guy feels this way. So I don't know. I think it's always important to remember that. Not saying I'm throwing support here because obviously I'm not, but just, given what Djokovic grew up in war with like anti-West sentiment, like, should this really be surprising? Like, does anyone want to look into like, how this guy grew up?
Yeah. And I do want to defend him as well. because it is his dad, so you can't control what your dad says. But Djokovic at one point last year did reach out to, I'm not sure what Ukrainian tennis player, but reached out to a Ukrainian tennis player and offered, financial help, and a message towards that particular person. So it's not Djokovic, you know what I mean? But my biggest thing with this whole thing is like, what are you doing, man? Like, you're associated with this guy. And of course, there's going to be huge drama when this inevitably surfaces, which he had to have known that he's taking pictures with these guys. You know what I mean? So that's my whole thing with it. It's like, what are you doing type of thing. The other side of the coin in terms of drama was Tommy Paul. A video resurfaced of him during the Laver Cup. And during this exchange, he turned around from Djokovic to not shake his hand. And in the video, you can definitely tell. Obviously, this is just 3 pictures. I would get copyrighted for the video, but I'll link that video. But essentially, when Djokovic comes over to shake the entire team's hand, you can see Tommy Paul, see him coming, and then he kind of turns around, which you can see in that 3rd picture there. And Djokovic, of course, just goes to the next person. But I don't know. I kind of lost a little bit of respect for Tommy Paul there. He's an American, so of course I'm going to cheer for him. But like, what are you doing, man? You guys have any thoughts on this?
Like, what was the context? What happened in that match? Do we know?
He crushed Francis Tiafoe in the match. There's not really any particular drama or anything. I mean, Taylor Fritz shook his hand. Ojay Aliassim shook his hand. So it was just him.
Definitely a prick move.
If I somehow found myself in a pickup basketball game with LeBron and I was making a big fuss about, like ignoring him or being slighted or, chirping him a little bit, I think that's the equivalent to what's going on between Tommy Paul and Novak Djokovic. Like in Tommy Paul's head, he probably thought he was making a statement by doing that. I guarantee Djokovic couldn't have cared less if he shakes Tommy Paul's hand or not.
Right.
Or it pissed him off enough to remember it.
Right.
Could this be COVID related? Unvaxxed? Maybe he didn't want to want to take any risks.
Have you guys ever seen those like masterclass videos? I want to see a Djokovic masterclass on just competitiveness someday. That'd be epic. I mean, it'd be good from any of the greats. Probably not Fed. Fed's like different. Fed's like eloquent, probably the most talented we've ever seen. But he doesn't have like that edge that Nadal and Djokovic have on them. And then even between Nadal and Djokovic, there's like a little bit of a difference. But man, yeah, I'd love to see that someday.
You do bring up a good point, Bart, with those 3 players and hey, who would have a good masterclass? I think inevitably this all comes back to the debate that every tennis player always talks about: who's the GOAT? Is it Rafa? Is it Roger? Or is it Novak? And right now, I believe Rafa is the GOAT because he has the most majors. That is the one particular thing that I think defines if you are the GOAT or not. If you have the best or the most championships in the highest level of your sport. And Rafa currently has that. But Djokovic is really close to tying him up. What are your thoughts on this, Bart?
Well, so your only metric is majors.
Well, I'm not saying it's the only metric, but when the other stats are close, I think I am going by majors for sure. If Rafa didn't have any Masters 1000s titles, I would say, yeah, Djokovic is, the best. But they're, 6 or 7 titles difference for a Masters 1000 or a 500 title. I don't care.
Yeah, so Djokovic is ahead in the Masters.
Yes.
Right? Yep, by like 5 or 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
He has like 6 ATP Tour like end of year titles.
Yep. Rafa has 0.
More weeks ranked number 1, like quite a bit, and like very long stretches. Several just like season stretches where he was ultra dominant, which I think like has some pull. Like if you have periods of just like utter dominance where you are unequivocally the best, that contributes towards your greatness. Like literally the only thing Djokovic doesn't have is the Olympic title, but I think that's probably one of the least important because it only happens like once every 4 years and like things can happen. But he has performed well, right? And then just the majors. But like what happens to this argument for you when he wins this and when he wins 3 majors this year? What happens? But
Jeffrey, who do you think is the GOAT?
I think Djokovic. Fed's my favorite, but when Djokovic is healthy, nobody's beating him. The reason we haven't heard his name this tournament is because he's lost like one set.
Same.
I remember watching Rafa Nadal and Novak Djokovic play at Roland Garros a few years back, and they seemed pretty healthy at that time, and Rafa got the best of them there. But
all right, that's on clay. All right,
it's one of the majors, is it not?
Yeah, that is true.
They play a part of the season on clay. Does it not matter? Or?
No, it matters.
All right.
He's just reaching for arguments. Oh, one match at Roland Garros. Nadal beat him. I think years ago at his best tournament ever. Like, I think that's got him. That's got him.
Yep.
I mean, I think we gotta keep room in the conversation for like the at their best conversation. Nobody's been more bothered by injuries than Rafa, right? And so if everybody's healthy, Rafa, Novak, and Roger, like peak abilities, I think that's a little bit more interesting of a conversation than just pure results.
Yeah.
Stevie, what do you think about who do you think is the GOAT?
I'm gonna hop on the Novak train. It's tough for me because I hopped into tennis probably like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. So I didn't get to see a ton of Fed. I know he's like, and just from listening to you guys talk too, like he's widely like the most liked tennis player, it seems like. So, I mean, I wish I would have got to see more of him play, but I didn't. And, the last couple of years, Nadal hasn't really been himself. I did see that Roland Garros match against Djokovic, and I'm like, holy shit, like this guy, he's unreal when he's on. But yeah, I think Djokovic just has that, like we talked about earlier, that competitiveness where it's he hates to lose more than he wants to win. It feels like. So
he's got that dog in him.
Yeah, the dog, 100%. Yeah, it's just a guy that I would never bet against. Like even with the at their best conversation, like if you give me a coin flip on Djokovic versus Nadal, I'm taking Djokovic. Unless it's on clay, then yeah, of course. But I'll probably still take the plus money.
I like the point Eric brings up though, and we got to bring up 2007 Fed, who was 72 and 5 the whole season or something crazy like that.
That's nuts.
And 3 of his losses came against Nadal on clay. Imagine if Nadal didn't exist, he maybe would have lost twice that year or once. Nuts. But
yeah, that's wild.
If who didn't exist, you said?
Dude, he still beat him in a major final that year. He still kicked his ass at Wimbledon 2 years in a row.
Before I lose my third straight bet and contemplate life, let's get into the rules of betting. The boys will put $10, $20, or $30 on the bet of their choice. All types of bets welcome. And the winner at the end of the year will win a car of Bart's choosing. Let's get into the bets. Let's transition into our betting for the week. We got an exciting match. We got Novak Djokovic and Tommy Paul playing in the semifinals of the Australian Open. I'm super excited for this match. I'm going to stay up in the waning hours of the morning here to make sure to watch this one because I am so excited. I think Tommy Paul has a really, really nice shot to make it a match. I'm not sure if he necessarily has what it takes to beat Djokovic, but my bet for the week, I'm going to take the over on games. I'm going to move the line to the left. I'm going to say Tommy Paul is going to get over 32.5 games. I think he's going to bring this one to 4. And I think they're going to have a couple close sets. I'm going to put $20 on this one. It's at plus 130. So a $20 bet to win $26. Jeffrey G Money, you are a college athlete, so I know you're not betting real money here, but what's your bet for the week?
Thank you for saying that, Ike. My bet for the week is I'm going the under on games. I just think Novak's he's gonna do something, just go psycho mode and just he's gonna do what Novak does. He's probably motivated by he probably knows that Tommy Paul didn't shake his hand. That probably pissed him off. His dad probably pissed him off. He's gonna go psycho mode and destroy him.
Big Bet Barter, you're next in the betting lineup. What's your bet for the week?
So what's even the payout if you just take Djokovic money line? It's got to be like 2 pennies.
It's minus 2,500. So, yeah, you're not getting much off it.
Jesus.
But it's a sure thing.
Yeah, I guess. Bring my total up from -60 to -58.5.
You'll be in third place still.
All right. Well, I'm pretty confident. I mean, after the last 2 weeks, like took bets I thought were sure things, thinking maybe I should take an out of the box bet, but like this seems like as sure of a thing as there could be. This is easy money. I gotta take Djokovic in 3 sets, $30.
All right. Djokovic in 3 sets. We got $30 to win 14-10. It's at minus 215. Next in the betting lineup, we got Eric P. What's your bet for the week?
Well, here's the deal. I don't like Tommy Paul very much at all. I don't know what or why. Maybe it's because he's got 2 first names, but he's just not my favorite American tennis player. But with that being said, he's having a really good tournament. And I think he has the capability to I mean, you look at that lineup and he's beat some good players. Davidovich, Fokina, Brooksby, Batista Agut, and Shelton. That is a a quartet of really solid opponents. So I think he's going to cover the game spread. I'm going to take Tommy Paul at plus 8.5 on the total game spread. And I'm going to put $20 on that.
All right. So we got $20 to win 1680 for Tommy Paul plus 8.5. It's at minus 120. David, Big D3 Youngs, what's your bet for the week?
Yeah, so thanks, Ike. I can remember our sophomore year of college, Concordia College Cobbers. We're down in Florida, and we're getting a tour of the Elite Training Center. And our coach Joseph Murray just about urinated his pants because there's this young spry man who walked down the hall and he's like, "Guys, this is Tommy Paul. Like, this guy's like so good." And maybe some of you guys knew who he was. I was like, "Who the is this?" Like, I don't know who this guy is. He ended up turning out pretty good. He also, I mean, with a name like that, if tennis doesn't work out, he's an easy slide into the adult film industry. Ron Jeremy, Tommy Paul, and he might have to do that because, man, he is going to get walloped by Djokovic. I'm taking under on total games here, $30. Djokovic is gonna cook him up pretty good.
All right. So David's bet is 30 to win 27-30. The under on total games at minus 110. Last but not least, Stevie's the leader of our league right now. What's your bet for the week?
The leader, but I'm glad you didn't say what the totals were right now. Yeah, I'm gonna I think roll with kind of the theme everybody's going here. I think Djokovic steamrolls him. He's had a couple of really impressive wins. When I saw that, I didn't get to watch it, but when I saw that stat line against De Minaur, I could not believe it. So I think he's just a man on a mission. I'm gonna take a little different. Yeah, the 3-setter over Rublev too. Like he's just locked in. So I'm gonna take a little different variation for the under. I'm gonna do Djokovic total games won under 18.5. I think it was plus 160 last I looked. So I'll do 20 on that, and we'll just hope for like 6-3, 6-4 every set.
Yep. So the under at 18.5 games at plus 160. $20 bet will win you $32 for that one. I like it. And that will conclude our betting for the week. David, I got one quiz question before we end this one. So there was one other player that we saw down there at the USTA National Campus, and I guess I'll open it up to anyone who is down there. It was a female, and she was also training to become a pro. Do you guys remember who that was?
Cici Bellis.
Cici Bellis. Yep, she did retire a couple years back because of some just ligament damage and stuff like that, but she's an announcer right now, and she's solid actually. She's very good. So
We also saw UVA's number 1 player at the time, who was
Kwiatkowski.
really good. Yeah.
Ty Kwiatkowski.
Yeah. He won did he win 2 individual natty championships?
For sure one. I don't know.
Yeah, but they're good teams. So another solid spot. But
all right. Well, that will conclude the episode. Thanks so much for watching.